अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, मैं हूं कंवल अयूब और आज मेरे साथ मैं ये नहीं कहूँगी कि हमारे साथ एक इट्स अ पर्सन समथिंग, बट आई से कि मैं ज़्यादा कहना चाहूँगी कि हमारे साथ एक आइडिया है या फिर एक सक्सेस स्टोरी है पाकिस्तान की यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के बारे में। आप लोग देखते हैं कि हमारे पाकिस्तान में आजकल सब लोग कुछ ना कुछ नया डेवलप कर रहे हैं, कुछ ना कुछ नई इंपॉर्टेंट मज़े मज़े की चीज़ों के साथ आ रहे हैं। बट दिस इज़ वन ऐप जिसने ना जो इंटरटेनमेंट पे ज़्यादा नहीं है, लेकिन ये ज़्यादा पाकिस्तान की उस आवाम के लिए है जो कि ज़्यादा स्मार्टफोन से आइए ज़रा दूर है या जिनमें अवेयरनेस थोड़ी सी कम है। तो वी हैव समवन जिन्होंने उनके बारे में सोचा और उनके एक आइडिया के साथ आए कि ही शुड हेल्प देम, और उनके लिए सोचा कि वो कैसे अपने लाइफ को बेटर बना सकते हैं, वो कैसे अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट को डील कर सकते हैं, वो या फिर वो कैसे अपने जो कहते हैं कि वो अपने लिए कैसे एक बिज़नेस या एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट का ज़रिया बन सकते हैं। सो वी हैव मुस्तंसर तनौली विद अस। तो अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing?
आई एम फाइन, आप कैसे हो?
Zabardast. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
We were so glad to have you here because as soon as I came to know about this FORI MAZDOORI app, so it was quite a very interesting app for me. और मेरे लिए एक बड़ी नई चीज़ थी कि पाकिस्तान में समवन इज़ थिंकिंग अबाउट द मज़दूर ऑफ पाकिस्तान। मतलब जब भी हम ऐप डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं या हम लोग एप्लीकेशंस की बात करते हैं तो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज़ कि एंटरटेनमेंट होनी चाहिए या कोई मैसेंजर टाइप की ऐप हो जाए या फिर विल डू समथिंग कैंडी कैमरा टाइप थिंग, ठीक है। लेकिन यू थिंकिंग अबाउट मज़दूर वॉज वेरी डिफरेंट। तो ये आइडिया कहाँ से आया आपके पास?
Okay. So I've been working on something we call sustainable and smarter cities for several years, and I also conduct workshops on sustainable system service and design using
Exactly.
design thinking techniques. So the need to cater workers had come up several times in such sessions. But it was really after I made up my mind that I'm going to move back from Europe to Pakistan that I thought I have to do something for the workers.
Okay.
So that is really, when the FORI Mazdoori journey started.
अच्छा, so you had this in your mind that you wanted to do something for Mazdoor, or you just wanted to start up a business or an app? तो फिर after brainstorming you came up with this?
You see, in smart cities, one of the things that we always looked at was the tele-density. कि कितने लोगों के पास telephone devices मौजूद हैं. So it was very high number in Pakistan. But seeing that, there are very few workers who are actually online and in the digital world. So we wanted to create something that will help bring them to the digital world without them needing to know that how to use apps, how to use internet, how to become part of it. So that's what we are trying to do here.
Yes, this was one major question that came into my mind when I heard about this FORI Mazdoori ke yes, of course it's an app for Mazdoor, but do you think Mazdoors in Pakistan are that much able to use a smartphone, or even if do they have smartphones? मतलब मैंने ज़्यादातर मज़दूरों को जब देखा है तो they're having very basic phones, feature phones.
Okay, so this is a very good question actually. So when we designed this technology, we realized that Mazdoors don't use smartphones, and actually we thought they are never online either. But what we saw in the field was on the contrary. हम एक जगह इस तरह volunteers के साथ, basically we worked so far with volunteer network. I'll go to a university, give a talk, and then they would join us. We would go to a certain area and start adding people into our system. So that is the basic model. But so we were doing such a session, and we went there, and this Mazdoor guy is sitting there, a very nice gentleman. And one thing before I tell you that, they have never let us go without a cup of sweet tea.
Yes,
I mean, they are very generous and very nice people. So we were sitting there, and he said, Sir ji, मैं एक मिनट ही आया. So he left for a minute, and he did something, and he came back and said, Sir ji, तुसी मिल गए. So he had found our Facebook page, and he was showing us that. So we underestimate. I think they are very fast to technology adoption. We also thought workers would not want to become part of FORI Mazdoori so easily. We asked for credentials, right? Name, NIC number.
Exactly.
But they are not reluctant at all because it's something that potentially opens a lot of job opportunities. So they were open to the idea. So your basic question, no, a Mazdoor does not require a smartphone. He just needs to have a basic feature phone.
Okay.
And that
so
works.
you will have their all their credentials with you, and this app works like this. कि जब आप एक मजदूर को ट्रैक करते हैं, you will just have his number or contact things, and you'll call him और वो आपको available होगा.
बिल्कुल. When a worker comes, we have this 3 phrases in Urdu. नाम काम तजर्बा.
I read this on internet, and that was really nice.
So essentially this is what you're looking for in anyone, right? But our apps allow you to add a video pitch. Imagine a Muhyiddin coming and saying, "Ji, मैं Muhyiddin बिजली दा कम करदा बड़ा सोना करदा." I picked up a lot in Punjabi after I moved back.
Yes, I can see that.
But yeah, so once they are ready to become part of our system, anyone can start adding them into our system, right? You know many workers who are looking for jobs.
Okay.
So you can just click on the add labor button on the website, skillbazaar.co. I know you want to know the difference later. But, so you can just add them, and once you see the profiles, we verify their phone numbers.
Okay.
We sometimes try to verify their NIC numbers, and we are working on other models together with some other potential partners to make them more and more secure. So, but once they're, you can take their video, you can take the photo, and there's an additional profile. But naam kaam tajrba is the basic thing we record.
Okay, so it's like, how do you track a Mazdoor? For example, if I know someone who is a Mazdoor and I add all his information, or I put it on website, and अभी जब मैंने ऐड किया तो he is in F7, but what happens कि जब when someone else contacts him, he is somewhere in Pindi. तो is there any GPRS system to track कि इस time इतने मजदूर are like just the Uber does this?
Right.
कि when you contact Uber person, then you know the nearest person, and then you just call that driver.
So our system also works on whenever as an employer you're searching, we always show you the people who are nearest to you.
Okay.
Now this is either based on the location जो मजदूर ने हमें बताई थी, या हमने जहाँ पे मजदूर का data record किया था. But right now, we are part of Telenor Velocity as well.
Yes.
We are talking to some other partners too. So through them, with the consent of the mazdoor, we'll gradually, sometimes we'll update their location.
Okay.
So that,
that
you always see the
feasible,
people,
exactly,
so that you always see the people nearest to you, right? Because actually sometimes, it does not need to be very, very precise, because if you need a mason at home who will come and put some tiles on, for example, he can come tomorrow. You can just call him, set an appointment, and then he can come. And if he doesn't come, you have our website, and you can go, he didn't come. You can give feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the magic.
So, मजदूर, did you tell them कि आपके बारे में से feedbacks आते हैं and वो यहाँ पे नज़र आएंगे?
हाँ बिल्कुल बताएं. देखिए actually उनके लिए एक नया प्लेटफॉर्म है. इससे उनका कंपटीशन बढ़ रहा है. इससे उन्हें जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज ज़्यादा मिल रही हैं. One of the reasons why we designed this is हमें लगता है there's a very strong societal divide, वो haves and have nots वाला कुछ इस तरह का unfortunately seen है. People who have the resources to afford a mazdoor or who need a mazdoor rather, they don't have access to a mazdoor.
This happens. और कभी-कभी होता है कि you have a work in your home and you want to make it fixed, लेकिन आपको एक ऐसा बंदा नहीं मिलता जो इसे अच्छी तरह कर सकता है. And you used to ask your friends, यार कोई अच्छा ये है जो ये काम कर देगा, या कोई अच्छा प्लम्बर है, या मेरे घर में ये इशू हो गया. तो इससे I guess by looking at the feedbacks, so you can get to know कि हाँ ये बंदा ज़्यादा अच्छा काम कर रहा है, इसके feedbacks इतने अच्छे हैं.
अच्छा, I'll give you an insight into this, why we think it's better than charity. If you add as a person, as an individual, someone to our system, I believe it's better than charity. Because personally, I like to say I don't believe in direct charity, because जब आप फकीर को भी पैसे देते हैं ना, आपके अंदर दुआ कर देना. Right? So there's nothing free. You always expect something back. So when you give 50 rupees to someone to eat food, वो तो घर जाके खत्म हो जाएगा. Sustainability नहीं है ना उसमें. I mean, as a nation, we also take a lot of funds from all around the world, NGOs, how they work, right? But if you add someone on our system, if not today, not tomorrow, one day he will or she will find a job.
Exactly.
It is particularly awesome, we believe, for women. Right? There are many women who don't have the luxury to leave their homes. They can just sit at home and either only leave when there is a job, or even their husband can answer the phone and say, okay, ठीक है, it's okay, I trust this person now, and you can talk to them. So we really believe this empowers women a lot, and mazdoors and the youth. So okay, I'll tell you the skill bazaar difference later.
Yes, I was just about to ask you the same question कि when I saw this app FORI MAZDOORI and skill bazaar, and I couldn't find any difference. So एक जैसा लग रहा था, interlink भी बहुत लग रहा था. So I was like कि जब आप आएंगे तो I'll ask you कि आप मुझे explain करो how are they different or how are they same.
Okay, so you see, when we first designed FORI MAZDOORI app, the idea was to make it a blue-collared app that will help you find the blue-collar. But as we started working on this, we realized, in the end, it's only an employer is always looking for a skilled resource. It does not matter what level of education that person has. So the beauty of how we have structured this is, it doesn't matter if you are educated or not. What matters is the level of your skill,
exactly.
and how far you are from a certain person, right? So it's And then FORI MAZDOORI was particularly designed for the blue collar, and Skill Bazaar, we realized, young people like yourself don't quite connect to Mazdoor.
And sometimes we have a skill जिसकी कोई qualification नहीं होती है.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right? And let's say, if you want to be a tutor today, what do? There is nothing you can do to find a student.
Exactly.
If you have a skill and you are still studying, what do? Right? If you want to be in advertising, there are no platforms which allow you to do that. So that's why we little bit, innovated.
Upgraded it.
Yeah, so that we also cater youth in it who are even educated or not. Doesn't matter. So now if you're in your university, you can say, I want to be a tutor in this subject. And people near you can find it.
Yes, if not through your organization, but you can find individuals who might need your help.
So any other skill that you have and you want to share it with the world, now you can just go to skillbazaar.co and say, all right, find me.
This amazed me a lot when I see there are different apps, there are different platforms जो बहुत थोड़ा informal है. But we do have a lot of formal applications already.
You see, that is another challenge in Pakistan. There's a lot of informal economy. So by adopting on a massive level our technology, we can move, or it starts a transition from informal to a semi-formal economy.
Exactly.
So it is a big contribution. But for this to work, we need lots of users, and so lots of workers and lots of employers. Only then this is successful.
I think the way you guys are going, you'll make it something. Inshallah.
Well, I hope so. That's the idea. That's why I've spent more than 2 years on this right now, so far. But I really believe in it. So yeah, I think one day we'll hit the right
mark. Where
mark.
I get to know you was Telenor's Velocity. So I wanted to know, did you find Telenor Velocity or did they find you?
Okay, so there is a long story behind that. So I was in Norway, right? Telenor is a Norwegian company. I had once pitched a very similar idea to a lady called Ingvild Meire.
Okay.
She's the one who actually brought Telenor out of Europe into to the South Asian world, right? And then I had been pitching to Telenor for quite some time because we want to get advantage of their network and their users and the background knowledge they have. So I was in Norway and I worked in a research lab called Similar Research Lab, and Telenor there had some shares in this as well. So I'd been pitching to Telenor for quite some time. I even pitched this to a woman. She's called Ingvild Meire. She is actually the lady who brought Telenor to the developing world, right? She was the one who made this move. So I pitched it to her. I pitched it to everyone I knew at Telenor, but nothing quite worked. I think what worked better for us was we won this Telenor Opportunity Challenge.
And you also came into, I was reading about you, and it was Istanbul, Startup Istanbul, and you were also there.
Yeah, so we have a lot of awards. I can tell you about all of them. We have 5, 6 or 4, 5, something like that, awards or titles. We have won from different places. But we won Telenor Opportunity Challenge. We were the 3rd overall and winners in our own category. And then, we were trying to pitch this to everyone in Telenor. But later, I think this earned us the right to pitch to and because we have learned that Telenor Velocity now exists, so we earned the right to pitch to them. So now we are part of them as well. So that's how there's a long story of how all of this started.
But it helps in it. It also encourages other people to just if you follow your dream or you really want something to happen and you keep it with you, and you'll eventually achieve it.
Yeah, you see, there are a lot of issues in Pakistan, right? Like every day. I think one of the things we were earlier talking about was, what is the challenge to FORI MAZDOORI? So each day when we come out, we are, there are a lot of challenges all around us. There are hurdles. So each day we come around, there are a lot of hurdles around us. Be it the traffic, be it a container, or be it a dharna. And all these things affect us a lot, especially as a young startup. So really, I think with time I've learned to believe that I've restored what I believed earlier. Was, slow and steady wins the race, especially when the going gets tough. So you have to just carry yourself, continue to believe in you, and keep moving forward. That's the only way, because people here will tell you, oh, it can't be done.
Exactly.
This has never been done.
Because the first thing that came into my mind when I read this name, FORI MAZDOORI, Mazdoor kahan smartphone use karte? The first thing that came into my mind, it's a very general thing. So after learning about it and after knowing it more, then I was like, nahin, the idea, it has something in it.
Yeah, and you see, being the first to market in this, actually, there isn't anything like this in the world as well, which works exactly like what we do. The only company that comes close is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
They
Okay.
started something called LinkedIn Pro. So that is the only thing which helps you find skilled individuals, something more or less like us. But they
But
launched,
then again, they are very formal.
and they launched this only 5 months ago, and only in California. So I'm very proud of leading this race, and that is what I want really. I think we have inspired some other startups who are now moving into this
Exactly.
direction as well. So I think for this to be truly successful, there had to be 2-3 big players out there, right? Now we have 70% teledensity in telcos, and look how many are there. There are 5 major operators,
Exactly.
and only then it becomes successful. You need good competitors, so that's a good thing.
Okay. So one thing which I wanted to know, what was the biggest challenge or you faced in bringing this up? And
Oh boy, that's a long list. Okay. Well,
one which you remember was the hardest one of all.
well, I don't think there is one. You see, the way we are moving is in a space that, maybe in the openness of data, and authorities don't quite like the idea of this.
Exactly.
We want to get everyone verified in our system. We want to be able to say this guy has a correct identity number, or, he can be trusted.
Exactly.
So making them part of our system is quite a challenge so far.
So I wanted to know, how many team members do you have?
Okay, so at the moment we are about 4,
4. Okay.
and hundreds of volunteers and well-wishers. So the way FORI MAZDOORI has worked is because of a lot of support from all around Pakistan, right? So our core team is much smaller, but the support we have is actually
It's
in hundreds,
bigger.
really. Yeah.
So how did you make your first Mazdoor join you? And
Oh, dear.
do you remember, or
Okay.
who was he or she?
So we have had the first Mazdoor a couple of times,
Okay.
right? Because we kept innovating, so the first Mazdoor came in a lot of times. So the one I can recall right now is, we gathered a lot of amazing volunteers. We have had great support around that area. And we went to a place near I-10-4. A lot of Mazdoors sit in there. So we went there, and in less than a minute, we were surrounded by hundreds of Mazdoor all around us, right? So we didn't quite know how to react. So what I did at that point was, there was a little stool there. So I took it and I stood on top of it so that I can, and that
See
was the
everyone.
first pitch I gave to all the Mazdoors. So I think after that I became better at pitching too. And I think the name of the guy we registered, the first name was Sahar Gul.
Sahar.
He was from Peshawar somewhere, I believe, and so I pitched to him as well that what we are doing while standing on that, but eye contact unke saath tha. And he understood and appreciated it. Not only that, later he explained what we were trying to do to all the fellow Mazdoors in Pashto.
Oh,
So you see, I can't quite forget him. So yeah, that
He
was
had
the
an
first
impact.
one. Yeah, it had a very good impact.
So, of course, you have a team, but if I call 3 of your team members here and I'll ask them to just explain you, what will they say about you?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I think if you call a technical person, he would say optimistic and unrealistic. If you call in a volunteer, most probably they'll say amazing. And if you call in a collaborator, they would say, Dr. Saab, lead the show, we'll follow you. So that's, I think, what you will get.
So you be everything with everyone.
From being a Mazdoor to... Actually, the interesting thing about FORI MAZDOORI is everyone is a stakeholder. So at one point we are sitting in a dhaba or sitting with Mazdoors
Mazdoors, exactly.
in real hot weather, and the other moment we are sitting in a fancy restaurant dining with people who matter, and attending events like Telenor Velocity or things like that. So yeah, it's a very versatile thing. Yeah.
My last question would be, what would you want to start something from scratch again, or you want to take this forward with you?
Okay, I think you don't quite ever start anything from scratch. You always build on either your experiences or either what's out there. So you're always building on what you have already done before or what someone else has done before. So yeah, I would just build on whatever is out there.
Or maybe someday any other idea comes in your mind and you'll be like, "Nahin, and then let's start this."
Okay, there were many other ideas that were already there when I started FORI MAZDOORI. Like, I wanted to create a smart citizen app. I'm trained as a designer to create new things.
New thing.
So it's harder for me to not to do new things. So with FORI MAZDOORI, you know, I hold my hand like, stop it right here. Don't do that. Don't do that. So until I see it through, I think I would continue focusing on this. But you never know. You know, I'm always open to new collaborations and ideas and helping people.
Okay.
We are sort of enablers. We can help people create things. So if that comes, sure, why not?
While reading your profile, one of the thing that amazed me was you're also working on Internet of Things,
Oh yeah.
which is the next big thing coming up.
Okay. Interestingly, I've been working on Internet of Things for more than 7-8 years now. So I was at MIT as well. There I led a project called Trash Track. We literally tracked people's garbage. So that was the first project that truly enabled tracking of anything.
Anything.
So right, Internet of Things came true because of that project really. So then the ideas of smart dust came in. So Pakistan is only 6-7 years behind, but I'm glad that we have reached there. I think earlier it used to be 10 years. Now it's reduced to 6-7 years. So I think it is good. And even what we are doing right now, Internet of Things works better. Actually, what's more real now is Internet of Everything. And you know, this is Internet of People. If we don't have Internet of People, how would IoT evolve?
Exactly.
So first you need people and then their objects, and then you help them communicate with each other. So that's what we do, right? So yeah, it is fantastic to see, and I think even FORI MAZDOORI falls into the same umbrella. In the end, what I want to do is create sustainable and smarter communities, right? Where people have to commute lesser, people can stay at home and feel more empowered, do better jobs, earn more money, right? So things like that.
Thank you so much, Musstanser, for coming here, and I would like you to give an advice to people or young students out there who want to start something new. So just tell them how you did it. You told us already how you did it, but just one advice for them to never give up or...
Yeah, I think I can say a few things there, but I'll keep it short. You know, never give up and never give in. Just believe in yourself and don't listen to anyone when they tell you to, you know, this can't be done or this can't happen. If you have faith in what you're trying to do, just give it your best shot right till the end. And you know, it is bound to go in some direction. If nothing, the experience of doing this makes you better than who you were before. So keep doing it.
Thank you so much, and I'm feeling so glad that I met you and we had this all conversation about different things. And that what amaze me most is like when I see youngsters doing something or someone thinking about something of making a new platform for anyone else, and so.
No, it has been a pleasure really, and you know, to our listeners out there, I would like to say, please do try what we are doing. Go to our website, skillbazaar.co. And if you would like to volunteer, you can always reach us on our Facebook pages. So, you know, just because only together we can make a difference. If we want this to work, if we want the startups that young people want to create, all of them have to come together.
Exactly.
Because unless you learn to collaborate, you cannot be successful. And actually, one last thing I would like to say is, if you are really into your startup, you believe in it, create a team. That's important. And help them grow, because if your team grows, you will grow. And yeah, I think that's all I would like to say. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Well, viewers, that's all for now. I hope आपको ये सेशन उतना ही अच्छा लगा होगा जितना कि मुझे लगा, और आइडियाज़ आपके माइंड में भी बहुत सारे आ रहे होंगे. So yes, I'll also say कि जो भी आइडिया आ गया बस उसके पीछे पड़ जाए, and don't let your dream go somewhere else. Just make it come true.